What's up guys, my name is Ace, and Modern Warfare 2 is now officially released everywhere in the world, but unfortunately many players are finding now that it's missing a lot of features, and many of these features are quite basic things that are fully expected to be in a full release of a game. Now before we get into the list of the missing features at launch, of course, I do understand that this game literally just launched, and for many of these things, I'm sure they'll start popping up within the next couple weeks, but at the same time, that doesn't mean they're immune to criticism in these areas, because this is a AAA title, and like I said, many of these features are absolute, bare bones, basic features that 100% should be in the game at launch. Also, just a quick reminder, I will be streaming Modern Warfare 2 on Twitch today. I will leave that link down below in the description, and I will have those drops enabled. So if you have your Activision account connected to a Twitch account, you will earn these rewards just by watching me play the game. And diving right into this list, the first big thing that's missing is hardcore game modes, or as they call them in this game, Tier 1 game modes. That's just a rename of hardcore. At the moment, it's simply not in the game. You can access the setting in custom games if you want, but for public matches, there are no hardcore game modes at all currently. And well, for me, this doesn't really affect me much because I just prefer core game modes. This must have been a pretty big disappointment for those people that love playing hardcore modes in Call of Duty and maybe don't like playing core, and they bought this game and then on day one, their entire way of playing the game simply doesn't exist right now. As for the next thing that's missing from this game that 100% should be there at launch, this is the Barracks. And within the Barracks, there are several subsections here as well, so having things like the combat record, or even just the ability to view some of your basic stats in-game. As of right now, there's no way of checking on your own stats. You can't see your kill-death ratio, your win-loss ratio, your score per minute. You can't see what your favorite guns are, or how far you've progressed your favorite guns, or how many kills you've got with that. We've got no access to any of that stuff, and while that doesn't directly impact the gameplay, these are all core features of an FPS game that 100% should be there at launch. On a similar note to that, there's also no leaderboards to be found at all in this game, so that's another thing that's missing. Additionally, at this point, there's no way of checking on your challenges. You can't see any challenge lists. You can't see the progress toward those challenges. However, it does look like the challenges are all at least tracking in the background, because I have been completing some challenges. There's just no way of checking on those challenges and seeing the challenge lists and seeing your progress toward that. And that also applies to the calling card and emblem screens. While we can go in and change our calling card and emblem, we can't access the menus that show locked calling cards and emblems with a description for how to unlock them. After that, another feature that we fully come to expect in a Call of Duty game that currently isn't in Modern Warfare 2 is the after-action report. And what this means is after the match ends and you end up back on the lobby screen, it will still show you how much player XP you earned, and it'll show you how much you ranked up and your weapon XP as well. But it's basically just 2 quick animations, and once those are gone, that information is gone as well. The only thing you can pull up here is the scoreboard from the previous match, but there's no after-action report like we would normally expect to see that would have a breakdown of what you earned in that match, what kind of stats you got, any sort of challenge completion that happened throughout the game. None of that is there currently. Next up for missing features at launch, let's talk about double XP, which is most important when the game first launches, by the way, because everybody's trying to get all their military ranks done, because those ranks actually mean something. But with this, we can get to our double XP menu, and we can activate our double XP tokens. However, once you do that, there's no countdown or indicator anywhere showing you that you have a double XP token active, and showing you how much time is remaining on that double XP token. And while that one is relatively minor, it still is something that should be there. You should have an indicator letting you know that you currently have a double XP token active, or that you don't, and maybe you want to activate one. Additionally, a lot of people are already grinding for camos in the game, and at this point, there is no camo unlock notification in the game. So once you earn a camo in the game, it doesn't pop up on the screen like you earned this camo, like we've come to expect with literally every single Call of Duty game. It's simply not there, and while it is a minor feature, it is something that should be there. As for the next several items, these are items that are most likely just bugs that they're currently working out. The first thing on this part is a functional split screen feature. As of right now, you can play split screen in custom games. However, it seems the moment you try to go into a public match, it's just not possible in split screen. So that functionality is currently just not there. Another thing that's missing from the game, and we haven't seen any communication about this is the museum map. We had access to this map in the beta, so of course we would expect it to also be there at launch. However, it's not there, and we also haven't heard anything from Infinity Ward, at least at the time of recording this video, regarding what happened with that museum map. On a similar note to that one, it looks like there's a few missing guns as well, although to be fair, when we gained access to see these guns, we weren't meant to be seeing that screen. So perhaps this was their intention all along, to hold back guns like the Honey Badger or the SIG MPX or the M13, for instance. Those were in the game and we could see them in menus when the campaign early access dropped, and they're also in the campaign. However, they're not currently available in multiplayer. To be fair, they never did claim that they would be in multiplayer at launch, but at the same time, the blog post did specifically mention a little while back that we would have 10 assault rifles in the game at launch, and we currently have 8. So I think there was some communication errors going on there. I think they're holding some of these guns back as their Season 1 weapons, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. At the end of the day with this one, it's more so just a mismatch in communication that is causing this issue. If they wouldn't have communicated to us that there'd be 10 assault rifles at launch, then this wouldn't be a valid complaint at all. However, they did say there would be 10 there. As for another thing I wanted to point out in this video, and this is more of a bug, not so much a missing feature, but it kind of does count as a missing feature. As of right now, at least at the time of recording this video, playing in a party is very difficult. It seems to be constantly breaking up or crashing the party. For me, even getting into a private match with 2 different accounts right now to do my testing is practically impossible. It crashes constantly. However, I did want to point out with this one, at least they communicated here. They have tweeted out that they're aware of some players experiencing crashes when partied up, and they said, please stay tuned as we investigate the issue. So that's something we can expect to see a fix for soon, and I do appreciate the communication, at least when it comes to that section. On top of that, I should also mention they did tweet out that the PS4 platform is having a lot of audio issues currently, and they are currently investigating that as well. Now finally, there's just a couple features that aren't necessarily supposed to be in the game, but I still wanted to include them here because I feel these are missing, and I feel these are at least somewhat important features. The first one is the detailed or advanced stats tab in the gunsmith. Especially now that we have attachment tuning once you max out a gun, having these detailed stats is more important than ever before, and yet we don't have them in the game. Unfortunately, knowing Infinity Ward's track record, I kind of feel like this was an intentional decision and we probably won't be seeing this in the future, but I'm still going to include it here as a missing feature because this is something that we have come to expect since the last couple Call of Duty games have had this, and it integrates so nicely with a gunsmith system. So I'm going to toss that in there. I do feel like that is a missing feature as well. And this leads me into the next feature, which also relates to the gunsmith, that may be an intentional choice, or maybe it is meant to be there and it's just not there currently. This is the ability to save your custom blueprints in the gunsmith. So when you have that perfect attachment combination that works for you, you should be able to have the option to save that so you can access that quickly when creating another class setup down the road. And as of right now, that feature doesn't exist in Modern Warfare 2, and we don't really know if that will exist with Modern Warfare 2. And with that, that pretty much covers it for the main features that I've found so far that are not in the game, and we fully expected them to be there. Again, this is literally day 1 after launch, and I'm sure most, if not all of these features will come at some point. But again, this isn't a beta, this isn't an early access game, this is a full release of a AAA title, and features like this should definitely be there when the game launches. At the very least, it would be great if we could get an update from Infinity Ward, maybe a quick blog post, or even just some more tweets just explaining that they are currently aware that certain things are missing, and just reassure us that they're working on it and that these features are going to be coming sometime soon. Because as of right now, at least at the time of recording this video, we're completely in the dark when it comes to this stuff. And with that, this is where I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. First up, what do you guys think about the fact that all of these features are currently missing from the game? And second, are there any other features that you expected to be there at launch that we currently don't have access to? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.